Namaste and welcome to Awaken Living with Nibodhi. Today's discussion is on remembrance. Remembrance about our true self, about who we really are. Who we really are is beautiful. We are all these beautiful, radiant flowers in this amazing garden, Mother Earth, life, the universe. And we are in our divine bloom. Our essence is to fully flourish. And in order to do that, the most important ingredient, yes, we need air. Yes, we need water. Yes, we need soil. Yes, we need sunshine. But the most important ingredient is love, unconditional love, genuine honoring of who we are, and loving ourselves, first of all, respecting ourselves, first of all, and sincere appreciation, not only from yourself, but really from our most beloveds, the ones who surround us the most. The Vedic wisdom, it teaches us, or it reminds us, that each soul is intrinsically whole and radiant, and we are divine consciousness. And that divine consciousness, the same way you would honor your guru or a divine being, we inherently deserve that reverence, but we have to give it to ourselves. And that comes from compassion, from self-love, from acceptance. Compassionate inquiry tells us or illuminates the truth that this wholeness, unfortunately, is often obscured by layers of adaptive behaviors formed in response to our past wounds, to our societal conditionings, to the traumas that we've allowed to go deep inside of us. For us to truly bloom, to blossom authentically, requires a nurturing environment, requires safety that's free from the bugs and the birds eating our tiny little sprouts. We need nurturing environments and relationships that are capable of holding us in that love, that support us holding ourselves in that love, holding us in a compassionate space so we can reach our fullness. Every petal blossoms, every shadow comes to light, every expression is fully manifested. So what can we do? We need to promise ourselves, we need to make a Sankalpa, a firm resolve from our deepest core to not allow anything or anyone to diminish our vibrancy, to stifle our growth, because we are sacred life force. We are Shakti. Shakti moves through us. The universal consciousness moves through us. And within the deepest recesses of our heart, that's what Ayurveda calls Hridaya, that the spiritual heart, there is this profound longing to return to ourself. We're not actually separate from self, but our traumas and the societal conditions and the subconscious beliefs obscure that. Some of us are intimately attuned to that hridaya, to that sacred space, and others are not. Some of us feel it as a distant whisper. We've had glimpses, small tastes of it, and others have fully realized it. But this longing, it's universal. It's in everyone. And actually, that's what all addictions are about. Is we're longing to return to self. We're longing for equilibrium. We're longing to feel the bliss. That is our natural state. Satchidananda, pure bliss consciousness. That's what we are. Ultimately, it's the deepest yearning within the heart to express ourselves authentically, freely, without compromise or suppression or judgment or guilt or shame or any of that. We need to remember to not constrict our being, our radiance, to accommodate another person, to accommodate another person's wounds, to accommodate another person's subconscious patterns, to accommodate another person's trauma, to accommodate another person's beliefs or their limited perspectives or our own. This practice of shrinking our authentic fragments, the sacred coherence of our soul, does not serve us in any way. It does not serve the creation in any way. However, when we are in our full authenticity, we become a living channel of Shakti, of the divine feminine, of that cosmic principle that is the pure creativity that created the whole universe. And it's also the receptivity that holds the universe. It's the sensuality. It's the grace that flows if we allow ourselves to be open to it. The Shakti, this divine feminine force in the tantric teachings, exists within every being, regardless of gender, regardless of religion, regardless of color, regardless of where you live. It's the living force of creation, and it's in every single thing. It's in the sense organs. It's in the thoughts and the emotions. And as we do compassionate inquiry into our inner world, as we look deeply into who we actually are and what's ours and what's our families and what's generational and what's society, with gentleness, with compassion, with grace, with safety, we clear away these societal masks. We clear away the internal judgments that limit us. We clear away the inherited traumas that are generational and our own. And ultimately, beneath the veils of deception, beneath the lies, is our pure, innocent, sensual, powerful, luminous self. And if we can access that, we effortlessly embody the sacred. And life becomes a dance. It becomes this dance of divine love and truth. It becomes a beautiful play. If we know how to swim, the ocean is a joyous playground. If we don't know how to swim, it can be scary. When we remove the veils, it's like learning how to swim. Our erotic intelligence in its purest form is the expression of this awakened vitality of Shakti. It's flowing, it's liberated, it's integrated, and it naturally radiates the love of creation. We need to recognize that our authentic presence and our liberated expression is who we actually are. And yeah, it's scary to a lot of people. It may evoke discomfort in others. It may provoke shadow in others who are not ready to fully meet themselves. I've heard a saying that one of the scariest things to the status quo is a fully embodied woman. Well, it's a fully embodied human, actually. And there's a lot of people who are not ready to meet themselves, who are not ready to meet the true self, because it requires them looking at themselves, and that's scary. It's scary when we look at ourselves, because there's a lot there. There's everything. Everything is there. The whole universe is there within us. The dark, the light, that's the duality of creation, and that's the beauty of the play. So with compassionate acceptance, we hold space for ourselves if we have reactions within ourselves, and we hold space for others who may have reaction. We don't internalize them. I'm very excited to share with you Real Mushrooms, the sponsor of the Awakened Living podcast. I use their mushrooms every single day because they've genuinely changed my life. I trust them because they have 50 years of expertise and use 100% organic mushrooms, 0 grains, 0 fillers, which are found in most common mushroom products on the market. They use just real, organic, clinically tested mushrooms. Every morning, I use lion's mane to sharpen my thinking. I use cordyceps to give me the clean energy I need for the day. I use chaga to strengthen my immune system. And when stress hits, and it does, I use reishi to bring me back to center. With their products, you actually feel the difference. Through the end of April, Real Mushrooms gives Awaken Living with Nibodhi podcast listeners 25% off their entire first order. Use the code AWAKEN25 at checkout and get 25% off your first purchase. You can find their link in the show notes or visit nibodhi.com/mushrooms to get yours today. We don't dim our sacred light to create comfort or false sense of safety for another. We hold them in empathy and compassion, but we don't dim our own light. Real love, unconditional love, the love of God, Goddess, the universe, never asks us to become less of who we truly are. I ask to reflect deeply. I ask myself regularly, and I ask you to reflect deeply. What is the value of love if you have to diminish your essence to receive it from others? I'll repeat that. What is the value of love if you have to diminish your own essence, your own Shakti, your own light to receive love from others? These conditional arrangements cannot be the true essence of love. Love from a place of compassion. The perspective of compassion is seeing, is holding, and it's cherishing another exactly as they are, where they are in this moment. This is embracing our inner child. Our inner child is pure and innocent and sensitive and strong. It has faith. An innocent child has faith in its mother, its father. We must have faith in the divine mother and the divine father, and that's Shiva, Shakti, Purusha, Prakriti, and that's within us. So we can be there for the tender parts of ourselves with absolute protection, with clear boundaries, with unwavering commitment, even when the inner child is in fear of abandonment or is in fear of judgment. We make that Sankalpa, that vow to never abandon ourselves again. We make that Sankalpa to stand in our authentic, radiant God, Goddess power, our Shakti, our embodied and sovereign Shakti, ourself. Naturally, all that cannot honor and embrace your true essence will begin to fall away. And what that does, ultimately, is make space for our authentic connections. And these authentic connections, we start radiating and aligning with our truth, and we attract those who are in the same vibrational pattern. And you'll attract those who truly love you as you are, who love every facet of you, the light and the shadow. It's equally beautiful. You will never be too much. You will never be too little. You'll never be right. You'll never be wrong. You won't be judged. Your depth, your beauty, your intensity deserve understanding, reverence, and celebration because it's just Shakti. That doesn't mean we do things out of integrity. It means we do things with the highest level of integrity. And in that, we sometimes will stand alone. People will leave us, and that's okay. We still love them. We still love ourselves no matter what. And there is sometimes weariness from continually being misunderstood by those who are unable to perceive the purity of our intentions and our expression. There's been so many times in my life where I had an intention that was just love, that was just beautiful to love and nurture and radiate and express love to another person. It was completely misunderstood. And so that becomes weary, that becomes tiresome. But what that does is signals that the soul's deeper desire for resonance, the soul's deeper desire for connection, is actually rooted in authenticity. It's rooted in both emotional and erotic wisdom. It means that we're actually being more aligned with ourselves than we've ever been before. And ultimately, we seek out, we long for and cultivate relationships where we can be spiritually, emotionally, physically, metaphorically naked, free, innocent, open, and harmoniously vibrating together in the frequency of both our inner and outer beauty. The Vedic traditions tell us of this period called the Satya Yuga. It was a time in history when the world lived in pure truth, in unity consciousness, in this divine innocence, and this authentic nakedness was symbolized by transparency and trust and spiritual intimacy, not objectification. There was no trying to get something from someone else. In the Satya Yuga, we saw our form, the human form, the body, as a vessel of sacred spirit, and it was met with reverence, with divine reverence, with a heartfelt love rather than exploitation or objectification. We can return to this sacred vision within our own being and within our relationships. The yugas, the time periods, a pure yuga, right now we're in the Kali Yuga where there's a decline in Dharma. There's very little Dharma left, and we have to hold to that. But ultimately, the yugas exist within our consciousness because the time-space continuum is ultimately, it's real, but it's also on another level not real. So the yugas exist within us, so we create the Satya Yuga within ourselves. Gandhi said, be the change that we want to be in the world. We can't change anyone else. We can only change ourselves and then vibrate at that frequency. So we then begin to cultivate these interactions that emerge from the heart space, that embody profound love, unconditional love, and nurture the eternal beauty frequency within. We expand this out. We expand this vision by further consciously choosing environments, people, practices, companions who uplift and honor our emotional, erotic, and spiritual intelligence, that honor our emotional integrity, our divine seeking, our divine exploring of ourself. And we engage in ceremony. We engage in daily acts of devotion that reinforce our connection to the sacred, to this inner aliveness that is in alignment. That's what the Dinacharya of Ayurveda is about, the daily practices that align us to the higher truth that we know is true, even though the world is trying to tell us that it's not. So what we end up doing every morning, we wake up and we celebrate every single facet of who we are, every facet of our being, our vulnerability, our strength, our weakness, our desires, however divine or lower, our divine essence. We let our life be a continuous, joyful embodiment of the highest truth. And sometimes the sun sets and there's darkness, and then the sun will rise again. But remember that when the sun rises again, we blossom. Embrace our eternal blossoming, our eternal bloom, like the lotus opening up every morning to illuminate and bring beauty and fragrance to the creation. We then honor the sacred dance of creation within us and all around us. We honor the sacred dance of erotic emotional intelligence in spiritual wisdom. It's anchored in the wisdom of the ancient truth and compassionate self-awareness. Let us allow ourselves to blossom fully, unapologetically radiant, harmonizing our inner truth with our outward expressions of divine beauty and our authentic connection. In doing so, we not only transform ourselves, but we become an embodiment for divine grace. We become a beacon of light, a beacon of inspiration, and we heal ourselves. We heal others on the path, the sacred path of awakened living. Ram Dass said so beautifully, and I hold this in my heart every day, I work on myself as service to others, and I serve others as work on myself. I pray that today's discussion, today's talk, today's ramblings are of service to you. And if they're of service to you and you find someone who may need this, please share it. And please share what is your divine truth. What is your embodied awakening process? What is alive in you? What is your erotic and emotional intelligence telling you today? When we share our process, when we share our journey authentically in a safe space, we grow, we learn, we expand even more. I sincerely, from the depth of my heart, thank you for joining me today, as always, and keep filling your hearts with authentic, unconditional love for yourself and the creation, and share that in every interaction of life. Before you go, if you've been curious about Ayurveda and want to actually understand your body and start applying it into your daily life, I built the complete Ayurveda course for exactly that. It contains more than 30 years of education and practice distilled into 50 lessons, with over 10 hours of content, guided meditations, personalized assessments, and so much more. It's designed so you'll feel real shifts as you go through it. You'll experience more energy, better digestion, increased mental clarity, and a deeper sense of balance. Lesson by lesson, it's all there. So go to Nibodhi.com/courses to learn more.